Hello and welcome back to Blackfeather Guild. Today we're doing episode 3 of Where Things Go South. It's a fantastic Monster of the Week game, GM'd by the fabulous Polished Cryptid. Before we jump in and say hi to the cast and get into the story though, I wanted to real quickly talk a little bit about viewer actions, how you can actually get involved in the game as well from the audience. So one of the easiest ways to do so, just get this message into chat here so you can see it, is through the game tweet. You'll see that right in chat. For every 10 interactions on that, that means likes, retweets, and comments. For every 10 total interactions, a D4 goes to the cast and to the DM or keeper in this case. And they can use that on any roll that they would like. For Monster of the Week, the DM can use that against the players, so to subtract from their rolls, and the players can use that to add to their rolls. Now, this being Monster of the Week, D4s are particularly powerful because this is a 2d6 system. So getting an extra D4 is almost as good as getting a whole extra die to add to the roll. So it's definitely super helpful for the players. In addition to that, you can also use guild coins. You can see a little bit about those to my whatever direction this is, because things are reversed on the stream, but right there. With those, you can buy plot points or a number of other different things, but plot points tend to be the most impactful ones to the story. They can be used to make minor little changes or additions to the scene that's happening. Ranges all the way from 1 plot point, which is let's say they go into a diner and you don't like the name, or you think it'd be funnier if it was this name. You can change the name of the diner or something like that. All the way up to a major plot effect, which is giving the cast or a specific character something they desperately need at the right moment. Or saying, you know, hey, let's take away something that they need at an important moment. You can do whatever you would like. The DM does have final say on what actually gets added, so it may get edited a little bit from what you put in. Or if it's really game breaking, the DM might go, sorry, I can't work with that. It'll have to be something else. And then feel free to just type something else in the chat if that's the case. But we'll try to work as close as possible to what you suggest. You can find a full description of those and what they do down in the panels below. Also, if you click the rainbow colored icon below your Twitch chat box, you'll see a full description of all of the guild coin items. And you get guild coins just by watching the stream. Those subscribers do earn those at twice the rate. And then finally, if you would like to help support the channel with donations, there's a number of different things that you can get that way as well. That's over here. If you look at the bottom of that chart, coffee.com/raven or raven.rocks is how you can do direct donations. You can also do subscriptions or bits. We also have Patreon. Our Bard tier patrons and higher get credits towards viewer actions that they can redeem at any point, and they get those every month. Bard tier is $15, and that gets you $15 worth of viewer action credits, so it is a pretty good deal. There's a bunch of other stuff that you get with the subscription as well, but basically you get free viewer actions to use every month. It's pretty fun. Most of these are somewhat self-explanatory, but in case some of them are not, I'm going to do a quick run through of what these mean. So the extra die, obviously you add those to rolls. A switch allows you to change somebody else's action. And by that I mean the verb of what they're trying to do. To give you a classic example, in D&D style games, they usually have a bard, and inevitably they want to seduce something, many times it being the dragon. If you're another player or the DM and you would rather not see the bard seduce the dragon, you can say switch if you have one. So the bard then has to choose something other than seduce, and it can't be a direct synonym like I flirt with the dragon. It has to be something entirely different. So it's a fun way for players and the DM to nudge the story in different directions, and it almost always ends up being something comical. Roll with advantage and reroll means that the player can roll twice and take the better of the two results. The only difference between the two is the advantage has to be called before the roll, and the reroll can be called after the roll. So the reroll is particularly powerful in case you roll a nat 1. If you have a reroll, you can instantly just redo it, which can save you a lot of grief. Complication is a lot like the plot points, except that you can do pretty much anything that you would want. Think of it like having 6 or 8 plot points instead of just 1 through 4. Just type in 1 to 3 sentences into the chat or along with the redemption of the complication, and the DM will do their best to work that into the story. Again, just like the plot points, they may edit it a little bit to make it fit with the story that they're trying to tell, or if something would be particularly game breaking, they may tone it down a little bit to make the story a little bit more doable, but we'll try to stick as close as possible to what you suggest. Finally, swap 2 players for 5 minutes. They will swap characters, so they'll play each other's characters for 5 minutes. And the DM is included in that, so you can have a player in the DM spot and the DM playing their character for 5 minutes, which is always fun. And then the one-up for Monster of the Week, if a character would take 8 or more harm, which would kill them, then they can use a one-up to only go up to 7 harm, so they still have 1 hit point left, essentially. And that is how all the viewer actions work. So feel free to participate from the audience, and definitely chat and let us know how you're liking the game, your ideas, all that good stuff. And yeah, I'm going to take it over to the cast and let Polished introduce everybody, and we'll get started on the story. I'll see y'all after the show.
All right. Good morning, everyone. It is lovely to see you all again. So last week, our group of hunters went to a hardware store and found some rather transfixed individuals outside of it, telling them that the forest is beautiful this time of year. And they've been able to deduce that it has something to do with moss. Not aliens, good old moss. Before we dive into today's episode, I would like to know a bit more about my fellow castmates and their characters. So, starting with, oh my gosh, Pa, who are you and who are you playing today?
Hey, I'm Par. I'm an aspiring writer. I'm playing Ryan Fortune, the spell slinger and master of magic for this little group. Just here to have fun.
All right, Eshi, what about you?
I'm Eshi. I'm an existential coach, playing Ven Tanner, the unethical expert, and just making mayhem.
Excellent. Kat, tell us a bit about yourself and Winter.
Hi, I'm Kat. I'm a person who likes to think they're a cat. And I'm playing Winter, who is the spooky, not or just out of their teens, who is kind of an asshole. That's it.
All right. Akino, who are you and who are you playing today?
I'm a Mechnololax. I'm playing everywhere and everyone who I can. This is Glenn's turn. Glenn is, well, he's from another game, I would say, because he's just a non-mysterious, brutish ex-military type who has no idea what he's doing in this world full of magic.
All right. Yeah, I'm Polished and I'll be running the game today. So, last where we left off, you'd just reached the edge of a forest. And it was starting to sense that there might be more dangers here than you'd first realized. So, instead of the traditional intro sequence, we're going to cut straight to our theme song after that quick little recap. Starting with Glenn, as the music kicks up, what is your action shot of the week?
Well, my action shot
Mm.
in this situation.
This week's episode.
I would say I'm throwing my herbicide filled bags at most thingy.
Excellent. So the music starts building again, and with a sweeping shot, the camera pans over to Winter. Winter, what is your action shot for this week?
I think I'm gonna. My action shot is going back to last week where I paused the whole group and I said, "Wait a minute, do we have personal protective equipment?" And realizing that we did, but we left it at the hardware store.
Music sort of takes on a it's not quite womp womp womp, but it's getting to that level. Then what is your action shot of the week?
I'm seeing Ven staring aggressively into the distance. They drop their welding mask and pull out the weed burner, and just the slightest puff of flame comes out, and they burn a little bit of moss off of a rock.
And now the music builds again as this intro sequence keeps going. Finally, Ryan, what is your action shot for this week's intro?
Ryan's running through the woods and he's launched backwards. And as he gets up, a glowing eye opens on his forehead, and a wall of wind just comes up in front of the screen.
Nice. And finally, as the music builds again, we suddenly see sprawled across the screen where things go south. Bring us back into this week's episode. Now, right where we left off, Glenn, you had just asked me if there were any hidden dangers around. My answer was probably, because heaven knows I can't resist a cliffhanger. You get the feeling that your three companions, and whatever these things are that you've dragged along with you, these four people who are telling you still how beautiful the forest is this time of year, you get a distinct feeling that you're being watched. That's the first thing that is a potential danger. But also, as you look around, you see that where the edge of the forest hits the actual lake that's next to it, you can see that at first you think it's moving snow. That's the first sort of thing. Or maybe it's foam, as if someone has dropped like dishwashing liquid into a fountain. And then as you look again, you realize that crawling along slowly, peacefully, but relentlessly is a glowing light green moss heading towards the lake. What do you all do?
Oh, I came ready. I mean, I've been ready for this entire week. Throwing this bag full of very toxic chemical at this, well, thing. For lack of better name, for now.
Sorry, I didn't catch that.
I would say I'm throwing my bag of herbicide at
All
the
right,
thing.
so you're heading towards it? All
No, I'm
right.
throwing.
Okay, yeah, like it's still slightly out of throwing range, but you can definitely move up and then throw.
Okay.
It does do something. So right where your bag hits and it explodes, the moss sort of withers away. But it doesn't stop. And as it appears to be sort of growing itself around the contaminated spot and heading towards the lake.
Well, I think we should probably stop it. So, watch this. And I will try to use magic to trap it.
Okay, so how are you trapping moss that's growing along an entire shoreline?
I guess putting something in its way, a wall or something.
Okay, so you're
Trap a
creating a
specific-
wall to try to stop it? All right.
Yeah.
Roll me your magic, please.
And the specific effect is trap a specific person, minion, or monster. So
Yep.
let's just see. Okay.
That's a 9. That's better than the majority of magic uses you've attempted. So it does work. You can see that your wall is going up. It's decidedly there. However, it doesn't appear to stop the growth. And what you see instead is that the moss keeps growing up the side of this magical wall and just slowly making its way over.
Okay.
Do we spray the herbicide from the spray cans into the wall of wind? Like, would that be distributive?
I mean, you can sure try.
I'd like to try.
Okay, so into this wall of wind, do you how do you also throw it? Do you spray it? How are you putting the herbicide in there?
I'm looking to use the spray canisters that we enchanted last time. Get up in there.
Okay.
Herbicide
Good,
thrower.
because it means you actually, I'll need you to roll me something for this. I need you to roll to act under pressure.
That's gonna
Because
suck.
you're trying to do something that's a bit dangerous right here.
My cool is not good.
It's an 8. That's pretty decent. So, let me have a look at exactly how that plays out. Okay. You think you can get close enough for it. But if you do, there's a chance you might have to touch some of the moss. So you can do it, but it might be very dangerous.
I might be able to use that wind to spread the herbicide and get more of it, but it could be dangerous.
What do you do?
Consulting with the party.
Give it a try. I'll watch your back.
So now I've actually thrown my thing. Now I can stop to think.
Gotta get the poison out.
How big is the area the moss covers?
So it's
More or less.
effectively about a stretch of 50 meters.
Okay. So it sounded like this, but I had to be sure that I've thrown a snowball against burning building.
Yeah. You can't cover the entire area. Like there's still a patch where it's refusing to grow, but you have a feeling you'd have to throw a lot of these metaphorical snowballs to really have an impact.
We didn't break enough stuff. Maybe we should just burn it.
I don't know. We are in the middle of a forest. Feels like fire might be.
In the background, you hear a very enthusiastic. The forest is beautiful this time of year.
Yes, yes. Very, very
Let's see if
beautiful.
we can put an end to that.
Actually, we probably should burn this forest down, to be honest. I've changed
If
my
it's-
mind.
If it's producing strange mind controlling mosses, it's probably the best for everyone.
It's this kind of situation where the forest fire is the lesser evil.
Winter, you get the direct feeling that you're being watched. And this it's a familiar sensation. And yeah, what do you do?
Can I look around for the stupid owl?
Excuse
The
me?
stupid owl is right there. It's looking right at your group. It's very curious.
I'm gonna like just shout at it like, well, can you do anything to help?
It just tilts its head at you and blinks.
I'm gonna pick up a rock and throw it at it.
Roll to kick some ass, please.
Can you do that for me?
Oh, right. Yes, I can.
Excuse me?
It's your toughness. Let me see. It's a 7. So you're pretty confident that you hit. You're really, really confident that that rock should have hit that stupid owl. But as you see the rock just go straight towards it, suddenly just veers slightly to the side as if caught by a very strong wind. The owl glares at you and keeps watching.
Could you repeat that?
The owl just glares at you as the rock sort of steers away from it. And
Okay.
just keeps watching.
I'm gonna ignore it. And I think I want to turn my attention to the moths.
Mm-hmm.
Can I? Do I want to read a bad situation or do I want to investigate a mystery?
Tell me what you're doing, and I'll let you know what to roll. So, how are you going about this?
I kind of want to like observe the moss and see like, is it creating an immediate threat or like what is it? Is it just moss? Is it a creature that is pretending to be moss? And try and figure out like, do we need to attack it and kill it right now, or is there something else that we should be doing? Like, is this a fighting issue or is this a puzzle issue?
That sounds to me like you are trying to investigate a mystery a bit more than reading a bad situation. So that would be your sharp. Do you need me to roll it for you?
Yep.
All right, that's an 8. So you're doing pretty decently. You get to hold one of the questions under investigate a mystery.
Maybe sort of like what happened here, like what happened to make this moss a thing that exists?
I'm not entirely sure how it was created, but you get the feeling that it's been growing for a while now, and that it
like
has
wild, like a century, or
no, it's faster than that based on the pace it's moving at. This might have started maybe 2 weeks ago, if it's covered this much of the forest. it is like visibly moving as you see it. So moss is decidedly not meant to grow this way. Whether this is, some sort of science experiment, whether it's magic, whether it's a sentient creature, that's kind of hard to tell, but it's moving quickly. And you reckon it probably has most of this forest under control, or under cover, I should say. You also,
So I'm looking at like a vast sea of moss.
it's getting to that point, and it's almost, again, like, I don't know why this is the one image that pops up into my mind, but if you've ever seen, again, one of those pranks where someone pours dishwashing liquid into a fountain and it just starts growing out, that's the sort of speed it's moving at. So a slow, steady, foaming pace. Decidedly far faster than, because moss grows very slowly, like over centuries normally. This is moss on steroids. And
Can we tell where the origin is, like where it's starting?
it's probably, based on how it's growing, most likely further into the woods.
Hey guys, I think we need to find the center of this, because based on attacking it, it's like it's not, we're cutting off the tips instead of trying to go to the source, and I think we need to go to the
Yeah.
source.
Agreed.
I'll agree to that.
But don't. Let's not get too close to the moss. Remember the spores they launched in the parking lot.
Ven would like to troll through their past, their dark past.
So, what are you actually trying to find out?
I'm curious as to potential origins for this kind of thing. Anywhere might have seen something similar in the past. I'm using my dark past.
Yep, no, I know the move.
Yeah.
It's more like how you're trying to remember it.
Oh.
So it's whether you've encountered something that grows like this, if you've encountered moss specifically. How are you trying to like search through your memory?
Thinking of things that have a aberrant effect on nature.
Okay.
Corruptive growth type things.
Okay. Roll me your weirdness, please. Nine. That means you get to ask one of those questions.
Do I know anyone who might be behind this? That might be behind this. Who's too specific?
You can't think of an individual or go like, that's the evil fungus. It is.
This sort of
You do
thing.
get the sensation that there's two likely options. Either this is a natural phenomena that has been accelerated through science or magic, or it is a creature in and of itself that is sentient. There's sort of two sort of things where you're like, this could be a byproduct or it could be the very problem itself. You're at this stage not quite sure which, or if it's a combination, but there's a good chance that this moss is intelligent. Whether it's because the thing controlling it is intelligent or whether the moss itself is sentient, you're not quite sure. But it is moving deliberately. And it's moving around the areas that were covered by the pesticide. Sorry, herbicide. Weed killer, whatever you want to call it. It's not even trying to grow there anymore.
Man.
Okay, so let's go.
It's
Same for the middle, and use the sprayers to keep it at bay.
it's headed for water, right?
It's heading towards the lake, yes.
How far does it have to go?
You reckon at the current pace, it's probably going to take it about 15 minutes until it reaches the actual edge of the water.
I'm very concerned about what will happen when it reaches that much water.
Oh, right. The water caused the reaction last time.
I don't know what we'll be dealing with if it gets to the water. That's a large amount, and frankly, I would not like to face any sort of moss giant creation.
Okay, so maybe let's spray this your stronger stuff to form a tainted earth. It won't be able to cross.
Do we want to have someone stay here and do mitigation? Hold it off away from the lake while
I
the
think
rest
we
of us
have only
investigate?
2 tasks at the moment. Stop it from getting to the lake and find the center. So let's spray a line it won't be able to cross. And then head to center, but let's not split.
As Winter looks around, I feel like really unlikely that this is the first body of water that it's touched so far.
Just basic deduction on how forests work. It might be smaller bodies of water, the occasional small creek, but nothing quite the size of a big lake. Or, I think the way I described this lake last time is that it's somewhere between a large natural pond and a lake. So it's a big body of water. So it may have encountered water before, but not this amount.
Okay. Huh. So the wall magic that Ryan did is not going to keep the moss from the lake.
It's growing up that wind wall.
Oh.
Sorry, Ryan, was your wall made out of wind or was it made out of solid?
It was just magic, so I suppose it's just solid.
Okay, so yeah, it's growing up. It's acting as if it's a natural obstacle. So it's slowed down, but it's a matter of time until it grows over it.
Can we make it bigger?
The wall or the moss?
The wall? Potentially.
I mean, can. If so, it might have to be big magic, because this was regular magic. I will say, if you do want to try to extend the wall along the entire shoreline, that's going to require the combined efforts of all 4 of you, and it's going to take a while.
What if we don't want to expand the wall? What if we basically just want to anoint it with the herbicide?
I mean, you'll have to physically spray it for that. Like, it's there, like, it's a solid surface. It's just that you have to be close enough to be able to reach it with the spray. And like, if you currently stand at the edge of the moss trying to reach, it's a bit too far. So you would have to either get closer or find some way to extend the reach of that spray. You do, however, get the feeling that you don't want to touch this moss. Just based on the fact that you have seen people, the 4 people who are with you, who appear to be under its influence.
So, what do we have for like the personal protective equipment? Like, can I just put on like a hazmat suit?
Well, I believe there's one of you who has potentially thought to bring something like a hazmat suit and who might have just what you need. However, I would
I
need that
thought we
person
we
to
picked
roll
up
for that.
4.
You picked up,
I thought we picked up 4.
you picked up face masks to protect against the spray, and you
Goggles and
picked
stuff.
up
Okay.
like eye shields and effectively, your standard sort of breathing face mask. It might protect against like spores coming towards your face, or someone deciding to spray weed killer literally in your face. So it makes using that safer, but it's not a full-on hazmat suit because
Okay.
that's something so specific that you kind of need to go after that in general. So protective clothing and those items might help a bit, but it's not a complete protection. And you also don't
I'm
quite
putting
know.
on the protective equipment.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm willing to check my satchel for a couple of hazmat suits.
Okay, so maybe
Alright.
I take the
Preparedness.
backpack in the meantime with the spray from you.
Then can you please roll me your oh yeah, you already have. It's a 7. So
We just want to go back to the gas station. It's a 15-minute drive. Let's draw a line, come back a little more prepared.
you do have access to a full hazmat suit. I think you're definitely right that it's back at the gas station. It's not that long a drive,
Okay,
but
so
you're on the
maybe
timeline.
let's split. Give me the spraying apparatus. I'll give you keys to my van.
What are you guys doing?
I feel
Okay.
like might be able to pull some magical shenanigans, but it would be more than me who has to do it.
Then
I
just
can
looks at
help with
Ryan.
magic.
Shenanigans. Shall we?
I suppose so. We shall.
Okay. Shenanigan away.
Okay, what are these shenanigans of which you speak?
Okay. So, I would love. So, use magic effect is one of the use magic effects is to bar a place or portal to a specific person or type of creature. I don't know what this creature is,
Mm-hmm.
so I can't exactly bar it from this lake. But I would love to. I would love to make this wall more effective, an obstacle to just truly keep it away for as long as possible.
So, effectively, like I mentioned before, to be able to completely bar it from the lake, that would require big magic because it is quite a bit of a stretch of land.
I don't want to bar it from the whole lake. I want to bar just the area in front of the lake that it's going towards. I don't want it like
it's a 50-meter
thing.
stretch.
Oh, it's a 50-meter? Jesus.
Yeah, it's a pretty big area where it's slowly growing towards. So I'll say even like you did a pretty solid wall, but I'd say that's probably about 15 to 20 meters at best. And you know that it's trying to grow over it and it's trying to go around it as well. So it would require like the equivalent of, I think Cat just dropped.
What if I just made more walls?
I mean, you can, but keep in mind it hasn't stopped it, it's inconvenienced it. So if you want to go about it like on your own, You reckon that you can delay the moss getting into the lake, but it's a matter of time until it gets around it. It's like if you've seen moss grow, it can grow on anything and in any direction. This is just an extreme growth rate.
Can we use magic to apparate gear from the gas station?
Wait a minute. Oh boy.
That you could. Let me think what you might do. It would require. There's two options. One, the use of 2 teleport spells, one to get there and to get back with the item. You know that teleporting can be very dangerous. Ryan, you narrowly dodged its side effects before. If you use bigger magic, you might be able to create a temporary, almost like a portal, to allow a person to pass through. Those are sort of two ways you think you might be able to get to those hazmat suits, if that's your intent,
No portal.
or anything else at the gas station.
I think we're pretty sold on that second option right there.
A portal's just
all-
fun.
Portals all the way. Portals for days.
Ooh, so, you do recognize that there is a chance you'll open up a portal that goes to the wrong place. That's one of the dangers that comes with it. And it's also going to require 3 of you to help out and perform this ritual together. So effectively, 1 person to connect to where you are, 1 person to connect to where you want to go, and 1 person to create a bridge between. So it's going to require 3 successes at using magic from, 1 from each person participating.
I would love to take lead on this.
By all
As they
means.
say, go big or go home. Or in this case, some kind of horrible, vicious hell dimension.
Okay, so at the moment, Winter is a bit distracted. I think they'll be happy to help out, but you can also ask Glenn if he'd be willing to do it. So I'm guessing that both Ven and Ryan are pretty keen to be part of this, but then it's about who that third person will be.
Glenn, how are you feeling about a little magic?
I mean, I'm jungling the keys. It's only half an hour.
We don't have that time.
Or a very dangerous 30 seconds.
Well, okay, it's creeping fast. Time is of the essence. Well, if you think I can be of help, then well, you know your arts. I'm new to this. If you think I can make it, then maybe I can.
Just follow along. It comes very instinctually.
So if you do all go ahead with this, I'm going to need each of you to roll me your weird.
Okay. And I'm using use magic as part of big magic, right?
Yeah. So
I got a +1 forward to that. Cool.
Excellent.
2. Yeah, so go big or go home. I should probably read it out. When you must use magic as a requirement for big magic, take +1 forward to those use magic rolls.
All right. So Ven absolutely nailed it. So that's 1 strong success. A 9. That's solid.
Oh, right.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It, it seems fine. It seems somewhat stable, but going through portals and going through, like, transferring your atoms from one location to another via the use of magic is always risky. It looks fine, but it doesn't look stable. So effectively, it's going to be acting under pressure to use this thing.
Anybody has a cell phone?
Cell phone? Yes. Why?
What's your friend name in the gas station? We left in at the gas station.
Tara, yeah.
Ooh. Classic.
Maybe
Yeah.
ask if she sees a portal or something.
I'm gonna call Tara.
She picks up. She seems to have spent. She seems to have slowed her drinking rate. Yeah. Hi. Hi.
Sorry,
How's
I'm an
the cold?
asshole. It's not hippies. It's moss. It's a lot of
What?
moss. It's too much moss. There's a couple of hazmat suits in the back room on the third shelf from the right. I need you to get all of them and throw them through the hole in the front room.
Throw them through the hole in the front room.
You'll see it. You'll know it when you see it. It's fine.
Hazmat suits, right? And you hear sort of rummaging through, and she's, you know, when you do the thing, you've got your phone like that, and you're rummaging through, and she's also, I just hear her sort of mumbling, and it's like, the shit they had me do, Antonio. Fucking moss. Alright, then how many do you need? There's more than one.
Let's just go with 4. 4's fine.
4?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. And some more rummaging, a few things being knocked over. And as a pause, as she makes her way to the front room and goes, what the fuck is that?
Well, at least it worked.
And for reference, the way, actually, what does this portal look like? You're the ones who made it. What does Tara see?
I'm seeing, like, if reality was a broken mirror. Very cracked edges. Not at all wholesome looking.
Well, yes. If this is Ven's portal, then that's exactly what it looks like.
So then I'm guessing you're the person who anchored it to the gas station because it's your gas station. This goes. And you want me to do what exactly?
Just throw them through the hole. Don't touch the hole.
Okay. Right. Do I do it one at a time or just hurl a bunch of hazmat suits?
Put them in a bag and throw them all at once.
Fine.
There should be a couple of plastic bags next to the counter.
You hear her just sort of put the phone down and rummaging through. And she's definitely doing the whole thing. You know, when you talk to a pet as if it is fully sentient, she's like, hey, Antonio, mind telling me where you keep those bags? Ben sure doesn't like to keep things neat around here. And it takes her a minute or two, but she does eventually appear to find a bag.
I'm muttering to Ven. Well, maybe she should throw something worthless first. Let's see if it arrives here.
It might shatter after the first.
Oh, one off. Good thinking.
Ooh.
I'd rather lose the hazmat suits than have all been a waste and have something useless.
Still, though, portals. Portals are very nice.
We'll have to remember this for later.
Oh, definitely.
I love it, Ryan. It's just like, look at this magic that worked. it's beautiful work of art. All right. So just throw the bag. That's it. I don't. Do I have to say some magic words? How does this work?
I really hope not. No, you should just be able to throw the bag.
Right. Well, good luck fighting Moss. And she throws in the hazmat suits. Who's the closest to the portal on the receiving end?
Hmm. I guess me.
Probably
No.
whoever was anchoring it to this side.
Ryan, can you roll me? Actually, was it Ryan or Glenn who anchored it here?
Um, I would take whatever part would be easiest.
I think I would
Probably
have.
anchoring it here in that case. But
Oh.
sorry, Ryan.
Whoops.
You were saying?
I was gonna say. I forgot what the first thing was of the 3-part.
Okay, so you needed one person to anchor it to the gas station, which was Ben, because that's his home. Then you need one person to anchor it to where you are now, and then one person to create the bridge between.
Oh yeah, I probably created the bridge.
Yeah. All right. So Glenn, can you roll me to act under pressure?
Cool. Here.
This is the strangest way to summon a Shoggoth I have ever seen.
Oh.
I'm not cool with this. I'm not.
So what happens is that these hazmat suits, all wrapped up neatly in a bag, come flying at you with a very high speed, almost accelerated by this portal. And there's a very unglorious, undignified moment when it pretty much hits you straight in the face. And with a 6, it doesn't quite give the sort of cool impression that, you know, the rugged veteran perhaps would prefer.
Well,
But you do have a bag with hazmat suits in it.
as long as nobody got fragmented by strange magical portal, then I'm good.
Yeah, no one got fragmented. Not every roll is about disastrous consequences. Sometimes I just want to have a little bit of fun.
Well, the initial plan was to step through the portal.
This probably lowered the risk quite a bit, as opposed to having to walk through and then back again.
I'll be closing my side of that as quickly as possible. Just in
on
case.
On the phone, all you hear is, "Oh shit!" She bursts out laughing.
Did she send any whiskey?
Did she left any whiskey?
Can I roll an investigation, or it would be an investigation check if it was D&D, but
You don't have to investigate a mystery. You can choose to open the bag and check. There is.
Yes.
There is sadly no whiskey in there.
oh,
The mystery of the whiskey-less bag.
So no emergency rations then, so to speak. But there are 4 hazmat suits in there.
I'm gonna put on a hazmat suit.
That sounds like a solid plan.
Yep. Hazmat suit up.
All right. You're all in hazmat suits.
I take off the face mask and the eye, because that might be a little redundant.
Inside a hazmat suit? Maybe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ven's going to approach the magical wall, spraying a path through the moss.
As you spray, the moss withers away. And just like what happened when Glenn threw his snowball bags before, it doesn't actually appear to try to grow back where the weed killer has touched it. And you get the feeling as you step that it was probably a very good move to spray as you approached that wall and not just go straight for it. But yeah, you start spraying the wall. Moss is still like the wall itself. It's sort of peeling off when you do that, and it's not trying to climb over. The parts of the shoreline that are not covered by this wall or by the spray, the moss is still growing there.
We might have to take the time to spray along the shoreline.
Now that we've got some protection against the spores and the aerated pest or herbicide
Danger.
We could probably split the group.
Yeah.
Have a couple people here taking care of the shoreline and a couple people searching for the how of this.
Okay, who goes with me to find the center of this thing?
I raised my hand. Me.
Okay.
All right. So, what are you all doing?
Keep spraying, friends. Keep spraying.
I think I'm gonna bound. Like now that I've got the hazmat suit, I'm gonna like try and bound into the moss and see what happens when the moss. I'm in a moss with the hazmat suit on.
Okay.
Maybe like a small child trying to like splash in a puddle, wearing like galoshes.
I love that.
Gonna make some moss angels.
Yeah. I wouldn't do that quite yet until I know what happens.
Hey, Winter, can you please roll me to act under pressure?
Yeah. Can you do that?
Oh, right. Sorry. Keep forgetting you don't have access to your character sheet today. It should be a tough, I think. No, it's a cool. All right. I'm 11. Damn.
Ooh.
It's fine. You can feel it try to grab at you, though. As if it's trying to almost wrap you. But for some reason, just splashing seems fine.
I turn into violent stomping. Like I'm trying to like kill it with feet.
The moss is stomped on. It seems inconvenienced. If you get the distinct feeling that it's more insulted than anything, but you're not sure if you're projecting or not. It could be the owl, who knows? But it's the sort of same as it's the same feeling as when you tried throwing a rock at that owl. That's a sort of
You could always spray the outside of your suit.
You could. You want to do that?
One thing to keep in mind, you're using very enhanced weed killer.
It is magic as hell.
Yeah, it's very, very potent. Just based on how you've worked with magic before. Hazmat suits are great, but they might not be able to stand that level of like pure acidity being sprayed directly all over it. It's a risky move.
It's not the kind of hazmat suit that you use in like Chernobyl.
No, it's more like the
that's a different kind of hazmat suit.
Yeah, it's not. It's more to protect against like bacteria and to keep it
Organic
airtight
matter.
and make sure you're not being contaminated. However, it's not, 2 points of armor in mechanical terms.
In consideration of the side of Glenn's face, maybe not.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's pretty intense, if we'll put it that way. So I'll give you that one for free, just because you went through a lot of hassle to get these hazmat suits. And it's early on in the campaign where I'll be a bit more liberal with that kind of information. Later on, though.
All right, so I'm going to try and just keep walking towards like the source of the
Yeah, let's go.
yeah.
Okay.
Do you want a
Glenn.
bag? I'm sharing one of my bags with Winter.
So remind me, who has the spray backpack? There's 2 of them, right?
Then
I know there's
I
one
think one.
enchanted one.
There's
I know
one
you-
enchanted one and one normal one.
Yes.
Ah,
That's at least how I remember it.
I thought we have only one, the enchanted one.
You had one where the weed killer itself just sort of
Ah,
turned into water. But you do have normal pesticide in it. It's just not enchanted because no one tried. Like there were 2 attempts at enhancing the bottles, 1 success, 1 fail. And then I think it was only 1 attempt at enhancing one of the spraying apparatuses. If I'm wrong, correct me on this. It's how I remember it, that you do have a normal one and an enchanted one.
Yeah.
The
Let's
normal
say
and the
it's-
enchanted sounds right to me.
I mean, I can give you one to share between the 4 of you, but you can have a normal one if you want it.
so do we take the normal one or do we leave it with Ryan so you both can spray?
We can enchant stuff. So leave the normal one with us and take the
Okay.
big guns in case there's something gross in the middle.
Got a point.
Fair.
All right. Glenn and Winter. Firstly, Glenn, do you enter a moss-covered area?
Well, so if we are to take the big one,
Mhm.
I probably want to take it and let's go.
So are you using the pesticide or are you walking with it ready?
Well, I think we won't be able to spray the entire area that's covered with moss because probably that's half a forest, so I would only walk.
All right.
Waiting,
If so,
searching for something in the middle, something that stands out.
could you please roll me to act under pressure as you enter the area? So that should be your cool.
Yes. 9.
Okay. It takes you a while. You can feel the moss sort of tugging at you, for lack of better words. And it seems it's very intently bringing you in a certain direction. Whether you choose to go along with it or whether you choose to try to fight it to make your own path is up to you.
I'm asking Winter what they think about it. I think the moss wants me to go this way. Do we follow? Or do we go the opposite way?
Can I tell if so? I'm assuming he's pointing in the direction that
Yeah.
he's yeah. Is he pointing in the same direction as where we think the center of this moss infestation is?
I mean, roughly. Like, it's kind of hard to tell where the center of it is. It's it's a forest. You have a feeling it's not going to be a straight path, but it's not a case where he's pointing in the complete opposite direction. It's broadly the same way.
Yeah, we could go that way.
Okay, so I follow. I'm careful about the moss tagging me, but I go where moss wants me to go.
As soon as the two of you start walking in that direction, the four people who'd been accompanying you, still occasionally telling you how wonderful the forest is this time of year, which has faded into background noise as you've heard it approximately 78 times in the last hour. They start following with very, very bright smiles, all four of them. You should come with us, they say. The forest is beautiful this time of year.
I think I turn back towards them and I say, aren't you coming with us?
They're following you.
Yeah, you're following us.
Oh,
so why are we coming with you? You're coming with us.
The forest is beautiful this time of year. You'll adore it.
Wait. Was that a new line?
And I asked them why. Why is it so pretty?
They look at you in mild confusion.
The what?
The forest is beautiful this time of year. The forest is beautiful this time of year. And they just smile more expectantly at you, as if that answers any question you might possibly have had.
Did they say something about infusion?
They haven't said anything about infusion, as far as I'm aware.
Okay.
They did say you'll adore it.
Okay.
But they seem very happy that you're heading towards that you're heading into the forest.
And how the moss interacts with them? Are they standing on it?
It's kind of hard to tell because it's reaching up to roughly your knees by now.
Okay, let's go. They are bidding their time to get to us.
The forest is beautiful this time of year.
I'm stomping my feet to free them.
Oh, they seem completely unbothered, and you get this sort of impression, similar to what Winter got before, that the moss is inconvenienced and offended, but not actually hurt. And it sort of tugs at you a little, just no, don't stomp, go this way.
I meant merely to free my feet, not to stomp too energetically.
Yeah, it's more like, it's a bit like if you've ever gotten your feet stuck in mud and the mud sort of objects to you trying to pull it out.
Yeah, so we are both inconvenienced now. Moss is tagging me,
exactly.
I am tagging Moss.
It's the most passive-aggressive showdown of walking ever.
Okay, I'm heading further.
As soon as you start to do...
Is the moss crawling up them?
It's, again, like, it's just knee height, but it doesn't appear to be grabbing at them.
Oh.
They seem fine.
So is this knee-high, like, knee-high walking through grass? Or knee-high, like, walking through water?
It's somewhere in between. It's not the sort of solid... It's like walking through almost like shrubbery, but softer.
Huh.
So you can still sort of feel like the texture of it. So it's decidedly moss and not a liquid.
Right.
but it also seems to like part when you push through it and then close behind you. Ever seen someone like blend a sponge and it then reshapes itself?
Oh, okay.
That's the kind of, it just seals behind you.
Okay.
Describing moss texture is surprisingly difficult. Yeah.
Huh.
As long as you walk in the direction the moss is trying to gently tug you in, it seems to let that happen without objecting.
Okay.
It seems upset when you stomp at it or if you try to walk in another direction.
I'm repeating my offer to Winter. So, do you want my bags? I'm handing my 2 left or 3 plastic
Huh.
bags of herbicide. Just to be sure.
I think I accept, and I think I take out a plastic. I take out a little bit and like see what happens when I sprinkle it around my feet.
So you're not throwing
Like I
the
don't want
bag,
to
you
use
just
a
sort
full
of
bag, but
okay. It's I need you to roll your cool again to act under pressure. Oh, actually, it depends on how you go about it. You can either try to kick this moss's ass, or you can try to act under pressure. What more describes how you're trying to?
maybe act under pressure. Like I'm doing
It's
it
like,
more as
is
like
your
an
sprinkling of the
experiment.
pesticide aggressive or passive aggressive or
It's more like
investigative?
investigative, like passive. It's passive aggressive. I don't like punch me in the face or
So, yeah, I'll say you're probably acting under pressure in this instance. So that's going to be a cool roll. Does that sound fair to you?
yep.
That's a 3.
Ooh, do I get an
Moment-
experience?
Yes, you do. I'll make sure to mark it down for you when I find where on your character sheet that is. Can't find that, so I'll make sure to add. This is when you're so used to looking at the keeper side.
Yeah, I think it's on the left hand
Written it down
side.
under your notes.
I
Oh no,
thought
there
it
we
was
go.
like on the left hand. Yeah,
Yes,
under like
found
harm
it.
and lock.
Here's the
Yeah.
thing, Winter. That's your 5th improvement point.
Yay!
So you actually, sorry, that's your 5th experience point. So you actually do get to choose 1 improvement. However, before you celebrate too much or too hard, what actually happens is that this moss grabs at you and slams you straight into the ground, as if it takes your legs out from under you. And you feel like you are not necessarily being. You're lucky wearing that hazmat suit. Let me put it this way. You have a feeling it's very much what's keeping this from being far worse than it could have been.
So since I
but-
have an open bag of herbicide in my hand, I imagine that goes flying.
See, provided it's not. So what happens is, as you topple over, it's as if you're lifted, and you think
Like
you
I'm
should be
crowd
slammed, but
surfing?
you land very, very softly. You are being carried by this moss, and it keeps bringing you, almost as if you're crowd surfing in the direction it wants you to go. You have a feeling that if you weren't wearing that suit, you would have tried something very different. So you
Huh.
have an open bag of pesticide in your hand.
Yep.
It's as if the moss took great care not to spill the thing that is actively hurting it.
It's clever.
It's very intelligent by moss standards, at least.
I'm extending my hand to help
I
Winter
think
get up.
I just call back to Glenn and I say, well, follow the bouncing Winter. I think if I'm being carried,
Well,
that's
that depends
walking I
on the
don't have to
speed.
do.
That depends on the speed. If it's if it's practically fast enough,
It's it's at a sort of brisk walk type pace.
whoa, that's fast for a moss.
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay.
I think I just like kind of lay back and I'm like, bring me moss, bring me to where I'm going.
Take me home, country moss.
Unbelievable.
We're going to pan over as Winter is being whisked away and Glenn
I
is
follow.
following, to Ben and Ryan. How's the spraying going? Assuming that's what you're actually doing.
Diligently
Yep.
trying to clear that shoreline.
Yeah, it's going pretty well. It's not the most exciting job you've ever done as a hunter, but your weed killing endeavors appear to be working. It's because you're not using the super enhanced weed killer. It takes a while longer, but yeah, it steers clear of the areas you've sprayed. What are you doing? Anything in particular? Any conversations you're having? Is it just a chill gardening session?
It's pretty chill.
Sorry, Kat, we can
Through
hear
the,
the sound echoing back, and I'm pretty sure it's through your phone. Just so you know that it's capping the sound back again. Thank you. Sorry, Ryan and Ven, how's your gardening going?
Chill. It's hard to hear through the two sets of hazmat suits, but I think Ven's going to try and enchant the extant herbicide. Live dangerously.
Okay.
This isn't happening fast enough. We can move this along.
Keep it. Make sure to keep it in the middle, right in front of the moss. So if it bursts, it just goes everywhere.
Didn't yours turn into water?
Well,
maybe not directly
master.
over.
I'm a master. Only I can make one thing into another completely.
Yeah, are you trying to enchant this weed killer?
Yeah, gonna give it a shot.
Roll me your weird to use your magic.
I don't think I want to use the D4 yet.
Well, you don't need to.
I'm not gonna need it.
Nailed it. That's a 12. So, yeah, this is some mother heckin' enchanted weed killer by now. And additionally, it seems to both spray faster, but also you don't have to use as much of it as before. So you reckon that even if you spray this entire shoreline, it may have lasting impacts on the flora and fauna of the region, but that moss is not going to cross that line.
Gotta solve the problem in front of you first.
So, yeah, pretty darn effective. And yeah, I think we've reached the point where, gardening session is going very smoothly now. And Glenn is sort of following along, being told how beautiful the forest is this time of year as winter is being carried away by moss. And that is where we're going to take a quick break, if that's all right with everyone. Any last thing you want to do before we cut to a break?
Nope.
All right. If so, Raven, could you please bring us to a break? All right. So, welcome back, everyone. Where we left off, two of our hunters are trying to protect the local lake from being corrupted by moss through a rather extravagant and magical gardening session. Meantime, inside the forest, Winter is being carried by this weirdly sentient and intelligent and stubborn moss as Glenn follows, and with him, 4 people who keep insisting on telling him that the forest is beautiful this time of year. Winter, you see something flying through the treetops. That fucking owl is following you. It's hopping sort of from branch to branch because if it flew, it would be way faster than you are. It's looking at you. Occasionally it pauses, sits down, almost as if it's laughing at you when it tilts its head, and then it hops along with you.
Can I use my brand new telepathy to ask it what it wants?
You can. So what I need you to do when you do use your telepathy, are you trying to manipulate the owl? Are you trying to investigate it, or just trying to get a better read on it?
Maybe.
Like, is it an angry what do you want? Is it more like, no, really, what do you want? Or
I think it might be more of an investigate.
okay, I'll let you roll to investigate a mystery in that case. So do you have access to the questions?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So it is your sharp. Do you need me to roll it for you?
Yes, please.
It's a 5. Oh, so you can still ask, but
It's not an answer.
might not, or it might lie if it can reply.
Let's see. I guess I'm gonna ask what sort of creature it is.
This owl? Well,
Yep.
it doesn't reply, but you get the distinct impression that it understands you completely. and that it is choosing
Oh,
not to
boy.
answer. It's not that it can't.
Do I get an experience point for that?
Yes, you do. So the way that this game works, for those of you playing along at home, is that you learn from your failures and mistakes. So yeah, it's a way to grow, as Ryan has discovered. All right, so eventually, as it brings you deeper into the forest, the moss is growing taller. And when it was knee height before, it's now up to your waist. For sort of a person of average height, it will be up to your waist. The 4 people accompanying you still seem to move without problem. For Glenn, who is the only one still walking out of their own sheer volition, that tug is getting stronger.
Can I use my hunch move?
What are you trying to do?
So when something bad is about to happen somewhere that I'm not, I want to kind of glean whether or not this is about to be a bad situation or not.
You know what? You don't even need to roll for that. You're being carried by sentient moss into its center. It's probably not going to be a relaxing experience. Whether it's going to turn lethal or not, like, you know better than to relax at the moment.
Okay.
I won't even have you roll for that.
Okay.
That's your hunter's experience kicking in. So it's not quite chanting, but the 4 people walking with you are getting very, very enthusiastic in telling you how beautiful the forest is. To the point where it's starting to sound, as soon as one person reaches the end of the sentence, the other takes it back up, and there's this sort of constant chorus of the forest is beautiful this time of year. This is rolling at you. What are the 2 of you doing at the moment?
Okay, I'm wondering whether to start spraying, but this will most certainly start some violent reaction, and we are, well, most was cooperating up to this point.
It hasn't actively harmed you yet. But you're also wearing a hazmat suit, so you don't know if it's for a lack of trying or because it can't.
Well, seeing what happened with Winter when they applied some herbicide to the moss last time, I know the moss is capable of more violent reactions. It has chosen not to do anything against me yet. Okay, so I'm still trying to move as I was before.
Okay.
Towards the center.
Winter. You're suddenly no longer looking at the owl, and you're not looking at the treetops or, the canopy. You're being brought down into the moss.
Oh, shit.
So suddenly it's closing around you. It's not trying to hurt you. It's just bringing you in a different direction.
Okay, I will.
So
I was following Winter. I see them starting to disappear. I jump forward to catch their hand, extending mine.
Roll me to
Act
I
under
need you to
pressure?
roll to protect another
Protect.
person. Yes,
Okay.
that's pretty much what you're trying to do. So that is your tough.
Tough.
I feel like I would want to like act under pressure before that and try and like right myself so I'm standing again.
Okay.
I rolled 11.
Yep. So roll me to roll. I mean, you're not acting under pressure. That's the thing.
Okay.
And especially if you're having Glenn also try to pull you back up on your feet, you do manage it. And it appears that the moss is allowing you to stand. You have a feeling that if you try to move away from where it wants you to go, that's when it will start to object. So if you try to walk out of a situation, that's when I need you to act under pressure.
Okay.
Standing up, it allows because you have been cooperating for a while. It does keep tugging a little at both of you to keep going deeper.
That
I
is
wanna-
something. Okay,
I think
go.
I might want to maybe tune in because I want to know if the creature is the moss or the moss is kind of like more like a limb or a minion.
Ooh. So you try to tune into the moss that's all around you?
Yeah. Or I'm gonna try and tune into the center of the moss, like the origin of the moss.
Okay, keep in mind that you need to know what you're attuning to. So you can choose to, if you do manage to tune into it, to try to follow to its origin. But because you don't know what the center is, it's going to be a lot harder to effectively sort of throw your mind out there blindly.
Okay.
So, because that's the thing, you don't know if it's one creature, several creatures, if it's, something like a human, or maybe it's aliens this time that's controlling it. So that's why it's going to be a lot harder if you throw it out blindly.
I guess what I'm trying to, the way I envision this is like I'm attached to the moss in the same way somebody might, like I might be like touching someone's finger. And like my finger has neurons that will lead back to my brain. So I guess I'm kind of like touching a finger and trying to use that to find my way to the brain.
Okay.
So I guess, yeah, I can tune in via moss.
Yep. Before, actually, I just needed to roll me a weird. So no active modifier on this, right?
Right.
Okay. It's a 9, so it is a partial success. You get to ask one of the questions there, and if you act on them, that's when you'll get the +1 going forward.
I wanna ask where the creature is right now. And essentially like that being the touching the finger of the moss to figure out where the center of this is.
Okay. Let me double check. Just need to figure out how this connection works. Okay, so you get the feeling that the main connection to the center is not physical. So you do get the feeling that it's trying to pull you towards the center, but you're not really sure if it's a case where what's at the center is the moss itself or something controlling it. But the main connection between the moss and the center is not physical. It's something else.
I'm gonna relay that to Glenn, and let him know that, well, yes, the moss is bringing us to the center. We're not sure what. I guess the answer is that the moss is not the creature. The creature is controlling the moss.
There's
Yes
some-
and no. It might be connected, but if so, it's not purely a case of this is a physical central location of the moss, if that makes
Okay.
sense. It's a
Um,
bit of a weird phenomena to explain. That's why I'm like, I need to know exactly how you're doing this.
Okay, but there's some sort of creature that is not moss.
You think so. It might be a different variation of moss, but whatever this thing is, it's really weird and it's not like anything either of you have encountered before.
Okay. I'll keep my eyes
That's
open.
why I'm being a bit vague, because neither of you would have had experience with this particular type of phenomena.
Huh.
Are you following along with the moss as it's tugging you? Are you standing still? Are you
I-
moving away?
I postulated we would.
I'm thinking of standing still because I kind of want to. I'm worried about what's going to happen if we keep going further. I think I might want to read a bad situation. Can I do that?
Yep. Again, what are you looking for?
I'm trying to figure out precisely what I want to be as prepared as I can for when we get to the center of the moss.
Yep.
So I can hold that action until we get closer.
Like, there's no such thing as a held action in Monster of the Week, but you can choose to say, okay, so when I get closer, these are the things I want to start looking for.
Okay.
So whether is there an additional like creature that I see, like what sort of things are going, whoa, this makes it a bad situation. Is it like, so just sort of
closer,
how are you approaching it?
Once we get closer, I think I'm gonna be worried about what's the best way out, and are there any dangers we haven't noticed?
All right. So we'll return to the two of you in just a moment. But before we pan away, you can hear a sort of soft, crunchy sound in the distance. And that's where we're going to pan back to Ven and Ryan. Your gardening efforts have progressed very well. Do you reckon that provided things progress in a timely manner, this moss might not actually reach the lake at all? And as you do, I keep turning to the wrong page of these notes because I know what I'm doing. You hear the voice of an older woman. And the very first thing she tells you is, you need to stop that. You need to leave this alone.
Give me a second. We're just finishing up here.
No, really. And emerging from the forest onto the shoreline is a short woman with graying black hair. In her hands are a shotgun, and she's looking very intently at both of you. You need to stop this right now.
Hmm.
I turn, carefully aiming the nozzle towards her face, but discreetly as possible. And why would that be?
You're, let me get this straight. You're spraying an entire beach with weed killer next to a lake that feeds into the groundwater of this town.
I'm going to need you to look inward, away from the lake, about 50 yards.
Yes.
Do you see that moss that's coming this way?
It's a part of our forest.
It's a part of your forest that brainwashed 4 teens.
Moss doesn't brainwash. It grows.
Well, we have evidence to additional things.
Quite frankly, you don't belong here.
Is there a way I can read this woman? Does she seem like she's also brainwashed? I just want to look into her eyes, see into her
Look
soul.
into her eyes. Yes, I'm just trying to figure out what the best move here is. You can choose either to try to manipulate her to get her to sort of show her hand, or you can try to read a investigate a mystery is the other option.
Okay. I'll go with investigate. The
I'd like to
mystery of
help.
why this woman is here right now and why she does not want this to end. Really.
Okay,
I would
so,
like to help by distracting her as much as possible.
okay, roll me your help first. So that's your plus cool. So 8. Okay, she's very focused on you. Ryan, which option are you going with?
Investigate a mystery.
Okay, so roll me your sharp, please,
Come on.
with a +1.
With a +1?
Yeah, because Ven is helping you.
Oh, that would just be 8 then.
Okay, so you get to ask one of those questions.
What is being concealed here?
What you're looking at is not human anymore.
Then it's obvious that she is not her right self right now. Perhaps we should be gentle, be calm. I mean, we don't want to be savages here.
I'd suggest you take your leave.
We're just curious about this interesting situation that your town has developed. This rapidly growing moss. And while you're so intent on protecting it, how about you let us know so we don't have to come back?
I asked you to stop contaminating our water by spraying weed killer right next to it.
And we're doing that. But that moss is headed here, and we've seen what happens when it encounters water, and you don't want that to happen.
It's a plant. It grows.
It's not a normal plant.
Looks normal to me.
True. True, it does look normal then. It does look normal.
How not in her right mind are we talking here, Ryan?
I mean, come on, man. What did you expect me to say? Like she's not even human? That would be crazy.
Yeah, what am I thinking? That could never happen. And then I spray her in the face.
Roll to kick some ass.
Ooh, no asses, not today.
Well, she quickly dodges, and you spray right next to her. Now, the thing is, that's pretty close range to be able to spray with this thing. And she has a shotgun in her hand. You take 3 harm as she raises it towards you and fire. Any armor you have will mitigate it.
I couldn't protect them. Shit.
I got none of that.
That's too late.
That's
Shotgun.
3 points of harm straight away.
Full in the body.
Yeesh.
So I'll say, Ryan, from now on, you can choose to protect. It was just that this happened, like, it's in D&D terms, that would have been a surprise attack on her, and you also didn't see it coming.
True.
That's why going forward, you can choose to protect if you want, but not from that one.
Such a quick response time.
Mutual surprise attacks.
Can I?
Everybody's shocked.
When she does that, I want to use magic.
All right. What kind of magic are you using? Let me know. Like, you need to tell me what you're doing. I'm happy to make you roll weird anytime, but
I'm going to explain it.
Yeah.
Ryan sees that happen, and then he turns to her, and I want to use magic to do one thing that is beyond human limitations. And I just want to tackle her and then rip the gun out of her hands, if I can.
I wouldn't say that's beyond human limitations. You can choose to act under pressure to try to grab it from her. Because that's like, anyone can wrestle someone for a shotgun.
I mean, but she's not human, so I don't know how strong she is or anything like that. But sure, if you want me to act under pressure. Okay.
Nice. So, here's the thing. Sorry, just Glenn's comment in chat. You have a feeling that if you do grab this shotgun, you might have to take the next shot to your chest as you wrestle it from her.
How fun.
Otherwise, you might try to interfere with the next time. Like, if you genuinely want to pull it from her, that's the price. You can perhaps choose to instead make it difficult for her to fire her next shot.
This feels like that movie moment where you see two people wrestling over a gun and the shot goes off, but you don't see who it hit.
Does a shotgun only have one shot per
I think it's
reload?
2. This one is not. Like, this one doesn't require a reload between every shot.
Depends on the shotgun.
Yeah, there's a few different varieties.
I don't know how many shots she has. I'm gonna rip it out. from her hands.
All right. Ryan, you do take the next shot
Ooh.
at point blank range for 3 harm.
Yeesh.
But you do get the shotgun in your hands.
Does that make me unstable?
I mean, how much? Aren't you wearing armor of some variety?
I have enchanted clothing, but since I just picked it, I didn't like put it on any.
Okay, so you haven't
Cool.
actually enchanted the items you're wearing.
Yeah, I have to. I think I have to enchant it. It just says pick an article of everyday clothing.
Okay, because I will let you have that because you have already chosen it. If you do want to have enchanted an item you're wearing, I'll allow it. But it means that if you survive, you won't get a cool looking new thing.
Cool looking gunshot wound.
I was gonna go more for article or clothing, but
I mean, it just looks like it looks the same, but it's enchanted. Is the thing. Sure, if you let me have that, I just put it on my dress shirt, which this punches through the hazmat suit straight into the chest. Yeah. So this feels entirely apt.
Yep, this is it hurts. You are barely still standing. Then have you reached the point of being unstable?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So you reckon that this is going to keep getting worse? Like, this is not the type of injury where you can just sort of wait it out. You're gradually going to lose health and suffer more harm as this goes untreated.
I would actually like to troll through my memories and my dark past to see if I know any black magic that will allow me to transfer my wounds to her.
Ooh, shiny. Yeah. Roll for that.
That's weird. That's weird. Yes. And I'd like to add my D4 to that, actually.
Okay.
Not that I'll need it.
Are you adding your D4 for? On a 12 plus, you might get an even better outcome.
You know what? Sure, that's
Literally anything will put you over the top.
cap and dice today.
15.
Nice. Let me find your character sheet. There we go. So, yeah, you definitely do know black magic that can transfer harm.
Do I happen to know any that would allow me to transfer all of the harm she's done in, say, the last 5 minutes?
I'd say it's... You know something that can transfer if you use magic, that wound onto her. If the spell works beyond what it normally should, it might also include the harm she's done to Ryan. But you're going to have to use magic to figure out how well it works.
I have an idea. And then I try to do that.
For God's sakes, man, get on with it.
Roll me your magic use.
What is going on?
Yeah.
Like a monster.
Oh my gosh. You feel a lot better. You feel a lot better than just a second ago. And as you feel your wounds heal, you can see it reappear in her chest, as if she'd been the one to take that first shot. And then you take one look at Ryan. He's looking a whole lot less bloody right now than he did a moment ago. Now, you see that wound deepen even more. She's badly hurt. She doesn't seem bothered by it, but you can tell that her physical form is. It's effectively, it looks like a human being has taken two shotgun shots to their chest. It's just like she can't feel the pain. She looks at you confused and goes, "That's not very nice."
Turnabout is fair play.
I'll make sure to remember you.
What?
As she looks at Ryan, who has the shotgun, she goes, "Are you as much of a brute as your friend? Ruining our home?"
You know, he truly is a bit brutish. Obviously, I am more on the elegant side. So, while I shall not resort to darker magics, of course, I control the wind. Like this. And I
What do you do?
I want to hit her with a wind missile.
All right, what is your, that's only your combat magic, right?
Yeah.
Don't bring a shotgun to a magic fight.
Not if people are going to suddenly pull out magic that's not meant to exist. No. Okay. Roll me your weird to kick her butt magically.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Come on. Okay.
Sorry, every time you roll, I'm like, ooh. So the missile hits her.
Okay.
She goes, you clearly are just a brute. And what she does is to turn around and walk back into the moss. And as she reaches it, she just spreads out her arms and falls back into it. And you watch as the moss absorbs her blood and resumes its growth towards you. Faster than before. And this time, it's not going for the lake. It's going for the two of you. We're going to pan back over to Glenn and to Winter. What are the two of you up to?
Well, we were following the moss to the. Well, we will see if it's metaphorical or not, to the center of it.
What's that crunch? There was a crunch.
It's a light sort of crunch in the background.
Did we hear shots?
You probably did hear two shots. Because shotguns are pretty damn loud.
They are. Well, there's a lot of noise. I think I'd be most concerned about the crotch. Like, I'm
Mhm.
going to go turn and look in that direction.
Okay. Hey, Winter, you wanted to read a bad situation before. Now's the time to do so.
Oh, I'm going to do that. Can you roll me for that?
I can indeed. Just need to double check which of your stats it is. It is your sharp. All right. There it is. And you do get +1 forward because this is based on you acting on what you learned before.
All right. So what did I roll?
That's a 12. Oh my gosh, I am never rolling for you again. You failed one roll out of like 90.
Oh, I failed 2 rolls.
All right, well,
Um,
you get to ask any one question you. No, sorry. Okay, you do. You get to ask me any one question you want about this situation, not just the ones listed, but it's only one question.
Is it aliens? No, it's not. I would not do that. But what's at the center of this moss?
You reckon it's a hybrid creature that you're dealing with? It's both biological in that it is indeed based on moss. But this thing, it's psychic. That's why I haven't been quite able to pin it down. It's not pure magic. It's not pure, biology. This creature is psychic. And you reckon that that's how it's controlling the rest of the moss and accelerating it. In addition to the 4 wonderful people who've been telling you about the beauty of this forest.
Do I know, or am I learning that, like, what's its intelligence? Like, do I find that out? Like, is it highly intelligent, or is it like kind of just
The creature at
survival
the
based?
center of this is highly intelligent. You get the feeling
then
that
it
it's
could've done-
able to bestow small amounts of intelligence and sentience onto other things, or other creatures, I should say. It makes them.
If it was so intelligent, well, I'm going to relay this information to Glenn. And I'm going to add, if it was so intelligent, why couldn't it have given more phrases to its, and I'm gesturing to the 4 in the back, to its disciples here?
Well, there are some type of people who enjoy routine and repetition.
I love Winter's priorities.
But why are we talking about this?
Well, so it's not. It's been like boring at my mind, that chanting over and over again. It's Anyway, so there's this psychic being, highly intelligent, controlling the moss, and our barbershop quartet over here, and we heard some shots, and there's also a light crunching sound. We should investigate one of these things.
Okay, we should take care of one of these things, preferably.
We should take care of all of these things, but we should,
let's start with
prioritize one of them now.
Let's reach the center. of this thing. Let's move faster.
All right. I don't think I don't know. I said my instincts say that Roundup isn't gonna kill everything, but maybe if we release it from the moss or disconnect it from the moss, maybe that might be a help.
I pat my jacket between my armpit and my chest. I have other things for other things. Let's take care of the moss.
Okay.
So, just to clarify, what exactly are you doing?
We are heading faster towards perceived place where the center is.
Okay. The moss is very keen to let you do that. In fact, as you move closer in the direction it's tugging you at, the crunching sounds get louder. And,
I'm on the lookout. I'm waiting impatiently to see something I could target with my nozzle.
I love everyone's like, I direct the weed killer in that direction. Now, as you are on the lookout, you see that two creatures are starting to sort of form in the moss itself as if it's morphing a little. And they look vaguely humanoid as they begin to take shape, but a bit more as if they're made very, very softly. There's no sharp edges. Everything is rounded. Their faces are sort of no distinguishing features. You can tell that there's eyes and there's a mouth, but it's all very soft, as if they're made out of clouds almost. And there's two of them. They're starting to look at both of you.
I'm closing to shot my spray point blank.
Are you firing?
Well, if I'm close enough, if I'm very close, then yes. I don't need to I don't need to talk with this thing.
Okay.
I don't need to ask questions. I don't need to talk. I came here to spray.
I'm here to spray, not ask questions. All right, roll me to kick some ass. Let's see how this goes. Are you targeting?
Well, I'm as I wrote in the chat earlier, I was careful not to betray, not to show how dangerous weapon I have.
All right.
But I also said when I will start spraying, I'm not gonna end until the tank is empty. So I'm spraying everything.
Okay, spray away. Roll me your tough to kick some butt.
And roll 20 is having some. Okay, 9.
9.
Can I change my roll to 12 using my luck?
Yes, you should be able to do that.
Then I would like to do so.
All right.
I came here to spray and spray a lot.
Okay, so out of the advanced effects for kicking some butt, which one do you want? So you can hold the advantage and give everyone else, in this case, Winter, a +1 forward. You can avoid taking any harm, or you can do double the normal harm.
Double the harm.
Okay, doubling the harm. The first creature is completely eradicated in front of you. And there's a big gaping hole where there was previously like a jungle of moss. The other one, however, you see almost like a vine, this very thick tendril of moss just wrap itself around you, and the pressure is intense. You take 2 points of harm. So any armor you have will reduce that damage.
Oh, so 1. Okay. What is that marker in the middle of my harm bar?
That's when you become unstable.
Okay. I'm still 1 point away.
Okay, so with unstable, unless it is treated or stabilized in some way, it's gradually going to get worse. So it's like you're bleeding out very, very slowly, if we put it that way.
I am at 2 harm, still far from there.
Hey, Winter, Glenn has just sprayed a ton of weed killer at this one part of the moss. Everything around you sort of shifts. And it's gone from being benevolent or at least passive aggressive to viewing you both as an active threat. That's what you get from your previous attunement to it. What do you do?
So wait, where did these? So there's 2 moss creatures that kind of erupted. Was that the crunch or?
Yes. So
Okay.
you keep, as you saw them start to take more active shape, you could hear that crunch happening as they formed.
Okay, and how many creatures are there? 2? Or
there's 1 remaining. 1 was obliterated by Glenn. There's also the rest of the moss itself. But you reckon that, again, both of you are still wearing hazmat suits, which is probably helping quite a bit right now.
Am I close enough to the psychic creature to like try and talk to it?
Yes.
I want to try and talk to it and ask it what it wants and why. And maybe can we have a discussion here?
You hear in your mind, it's more of a crackling, crumbling sound, but somehow words start to form.
I'm sorry, you're breaking up. Can you move into an area where you have more reception?
You can hear the crumbling is growing, very annoyed at you. And it just says...
I'm sure it can tell that it... Sorry.
It just
I'm very annoyed with it, too.
says, that's what I tried to do. Then you hurt me and my children.
I don't know what kind of intelligence you think that humans have, but the forest is very beautiful this time of year is not exactly a conversation.
That's not me we're talking to. Those are my children too. They are young and still learning.
So what's this conversation? Because I have not been, I did not receive anything in the mail. I didn't get any emails. I pick up, well, I can't pick up my cell phone and show the creature, but
You can try.
what kind of conversation are we trying to have here? What do you want?
What all things want.
This is the live free or die state. You can't just kill people.
I want what anyone wants. I want to live and I want to grow and thrive.
Well, you came to the right state. I imagine an image of the New Hampshire license plate where it says "Live Free or Die." So it like effectively trying to communicate to it that like this is a good place for living, but like we live free or you die. That's how that works around here, and you can't go around controlling people.
You get the feeling that the Moss has never heard of New Hampshire's slogan. It, in fact, doesn't quite understand what New Hampshire is. It's a foreign name to it.
It's intelligent and psychic, right?
It's intelligent. It's just not understanding your reference. It's a bit like, oh, I haven't seen that movie. It's just sort of confusion
of how everything works. We sit down for like 20, like we sit down for like an hour and then it understands.
Well,
Can I roll to manipulate?
that will be hard because Glenn keeps spraying.
Yeah, that's. And you hear it scream in your mind, Winter. And it just says, it's burning me. I have to
What's
stop
burning
it.
you?
You get the feeling that the moss is like, are you dumb?
For a second,
if it had eyes, it would look very pointedly at Glenn, who's actively spraying it with a weed killer. Like, how are you not getting this?
If I can pause Glenn spraying, can you stop the attacking? And we'll sit down and we'll have a conversation. I can explain what a New Hampshire is.
I have only defended
and a
myself.
Slogan by controlling teenagers.
They were
then
fine.
I gesture to the. Yeah, they were fine until you started controlling their minds.
Are smiling at you very broadly. And despite the carnage happening around them,
you know that. That's
all they
not them,
say,
and
this time in perfect unison, is the forest is beautiful this time of year.
Give it a minute.
And I pantomime and you know, I kind of say it along with them because I've heard it enough times that I can mimic
Moss
it.
chimes in, and you get the feeling that if it could be sarcastic, this is how it would be. And it just goes, we have told you the forest is beautiful this time of year. I'm glad you're listening. I love that the one thing that's been able to compete with Winter for sass so far is sentient moss. And I love it.
I don't know. Can I roll for patience?
You get the distinct impression that while Glenn is actively harming it, it's not really that willing to negotiate. It's indulging you right now because it's hoping he'll stop. But it's running out of patience.
I'm gonna. All right, so I kind of think to it. All right, if Glenn stops and you continue to attack or defend yourself, I'm gonna roll to kick some ass. and it doesn't understand what that is, but it doesn't matter.
No, it must just not understand your reference.
No. And that's how that's gonna go. And then I ask Glenn, hey, can you stop spraying it for a second?
Well, what? Keep spraying.
Do you keep spraying?
Why?
No. Because I think I can get it to stop attacking us, and we can sit down and have a conversation with it. But it's not going to do that if you continue to harm it.
Will it free the kids?
We're going to try and negotiate that, yeah.
Well, because okay, I'm stopping spraying, but for one single reason. We have no guarantee the kids will come out of it unharmed. If
Yeah, that sounds like a good reason.
If we kill the moss thing, maybe they will be brain dead or something. Okay, I stop spraying.
We'll see how it goes.
It has 10 seconds to free the kids. I'm starting counting.
Well, let's give it like a good solid 30 seconds.
Okay, a minute, but I'm serious. A minute.
Yes, I agree. All right, and I ask it.
I've shown some goodwill. It has to show us. It has shows us something too.
All right, and I'm gonna. I assume that the moss can understand that. Like the moss can understand when Glenn talks, right?
It doesn't appear to be able to. You're not sure if it's not understanding or if it's not hearing. But it doesn't seem to react beyond like the pain has stopped for now.
All right.
It's waiting to hear from you.
Now, I tell it to calm your horses, and imagine a picture of a horse.
I have no horses. I have children.
Keep it. Calm your children. Can you release one of the teenagers? Or else my buddy is going to start spraying this stuff again.
They are my children. Hurt me, you hurt them.
They're not your children. They're somebody else's children. Can I kind of like pat down one of the... Can I pat down one of the teenagers and see if I can like find a wallet with a family picture in it?
Sure. I'll let you find one.
Okay. And I like, does the moss have like eyes or something that I can like point at it, or do I have to like look at the photo and like imagine it in my head and like add some flavor to it that's like, you know, this organic body has a mind inside of it that's being controlled by you, and it has a family with other people that it loves, and you're just a parasite. You're not, this is not your child. This is a host.
One of the what you get back is the equivalent of someone screaming in utter anger right next to your ear. And the one remaining moss creature that Glenn hasn't obliterated steps towards you. Just one step.
And I point to that and I say, okay, this is good. This is what you're working for. You don't want to steal other people's kids. You can make your own moss creature kids.
You murdered my child.
I didn't murder anything. That was Glenn. Can I roll to throw somebody under the bus?
I'll give you a choice. I'll trade you. Give me the angry one,
Trade me what?
and I'll release one in return.
15.
Yeah, he is really angry, but I can't exactly just give him to you. And I imagine like Winter is narrating this out loud, so like Glenn can hear what is effectively one half of a phone conversation. And I'm going to tell Glenn that the Moss. Counter negotiation. How about you release all the teenagers, and we don't spray the thingy anymore. You steal no more humans. We don't spray you anymore. How about that?
Okay, it's either releasing them now or I'm done waiting. Sorry to put you in such a position, friend, but if it's not willing to...
5. That's effectively where I am at also.
Okay.
So.
It does not release the children.
Okay, I'm spraying. Roll, Kikas.
Before you do, we're going to quickly pan over to Ven and Ryan, who are watching blood red moss grow towards them. What do the two of you do?
So, ideas? I'm thinking big vortex portal that leads to a dimension without water.
Sounds good enough. We don't have anybody to bridge this time, though.
Right. Well, that's
and I'm not familiar with anywhere without water.
Okay, next plan. I summon a demon that eats moss.
How about you just create a wall of wind in front of us, and I'll fill that wall with herbicide.
You never go for the fun ideas.
Last time we summoned a demon, it did not go well.
It went incredibly well.
That's a matter of perspective.
I mean, it came, didn't it? We completed the summoning. But if I must...
The moss is growing at you while this conversation is happening, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
just so you know.
All right, I'm going to try to throw up a wind wall.
You're throwing up a wind wall?
Yeah, I have to roll to kick some.
Use your magic, please.
Come on.
Oh, it's combat magic. So, yep, that's going to be the other source of your magic.
Oh my god.
A 13. Nice.
Oh my god, what's going on today?
You do successfully throw up a wind wall. It is strong, but it can only grow so wide. So you've bought yourself some time, but you've learned before this moss can go around things.
Can you surround us in the wind wall?
Truly don't know.
You can roll your magic again, a regular use magic, to bend this to your will after you've summoned it.
Sure. Okay. Okay. Told you, magic has ups and downs, man.
Oh, sorry, I thought that was the same roll. It definitely, as the wall wraps around you, I think that for the moment, you're kind of safe. But it's also, moss and wind are not natural enemies.
I start spraying.
Can you?
Tactical chaos.
Tactical chaos.
I'll give you this. You are surrounded by this wind. If you spray, it might hit some of you. Like, it might hurt you as well as the moss. Because I imagine this is not a gigantic circle, but relatively close since you're working with a limited amount of surface. So just keep in mind that if you do spray, it might hurt you as well.
Ryan, are you down for the risk?
Well, truly playing it safe has never really helped us.
Historically not.
Truly not. But give me just a moment. We saw this woman go into this moss.
Mhm.
Do we know? Is there any way I could tell that this moss is it a sentient moss, or is there something else inside the moss?
I mean, it looks as if it's acting with purpose.
Such weird times. Okay. Let's do it.
All right, what are you doing?
I'm going to spray.
Okay.
What's a little damage between friends?
Then I need you to roll me to act under pressure to see how well you control the spray itself.
Could have been worse.
Could have been.
You reckon that you can infuse the wall, so to speak, with this pesticide. But in order to do it, it's going to take all the remaining pesticide you have, because you two have been spraying that lakeside. So if you do, you'll effectively be out of ammo.
I'm basically trusting Winter and Glenn to have this shit taken care of on that end. We just need to last it out at this point.
Okay. You empty the spray, the weed killer into the wind. All right. For the moment, the two of you reckon you are safe. It might, however, be a matter of time before things escalate. As the moss tries to figure out how to handle a magical wall of weed killer wind.
Now, have you ever banished anything?
Oh, it's been ages.
Okay. This is where we pan back to the action in the center of the forest. Glenn, you're spraying away, right? What was the last thing you said?
Yes.
Please roll to
Negotiations
kick
are
some
over.
ass.
Oh. That's only 6.
You rolled with your weird, though.
Weird.
So to
It's
kick some
weird.
ass, it's a different stat. As
Yeah,
weird
I
as it
know.
might be.
I'm pretty sure. Yes, it says weird. I'm pretty sure I've clicked tough. Okay, 9.
Okay. So let me find what I was looking for. Nope, not that. The other one. Okay. You do manage to inflict. What are you aiming at?
The second humanoid creature.
Okay. Cool. So it still has the chance to react to what you're doing here. Because I think the weed killer we said brought it up to 3 harm with that enchantment. So it's not enough to take it out right because you didn't roll as well as last time. So you'd still manage to spray it, but another vine shoots out and wraps itself around you and squeezes for 2 points of harm. Reduced by any armor you might be wearing.
My last point of stability.
So, Glenn, you know that you have taken quite a bit of damage, and that if you don't manage to get some sort of first aid or medical treatment, it's eventually going to be your downfall.
Throw your bags at it.
Winter, what are you doing?
I think I want to use magic,
To do
and I want to
what?
try and I want to cast a spell or something that's going to like bring in sunlight to kind of burn a little bit of moss or burn. Yeah, I want to try and burn the things with sunlight because moss doesn't like sunlight or direct sunlight anyway.
So, I'll give you this piece of knowledge for free. It was able to grow out onto the shoreline without being bothered. So it might still do a bit of damage, but it's not going to be, in Pokemon terms, super effective. So it's not the sort of natural enemy of moss. It's just like, ooh, ew, levels. But yeah, if you want to go with that, absolutely roll me your magic.
I think I kind of want to do like a fireball type thing almost, but like not fires, like light, like. So yeah, could you roll me magic?
Yep. So it sounds like you are trying to inflict harm. The reason why I mentioned that is that you don't get an added bonus to the damage just based on what that element is. So it's an 8. Spell goes off. It's decidedly affecting the moss. However, that light is a bit more intense than you'd planned.
Oh dear.
So much so that you feel it's starting to burn your own skin as well. You take 1 point of harm that ignores your armor.
Okay.
And you also see that the 4 kids, as you've been referring to them, are now turning to look at you. And the tone of their voices change as they say, "The forest is very nice this time of year."
Well,
Glenn,
forgive me for trying to brighten the situation.
Glenn, what are you doing?
Does it stop? Does the vine stops me from spraying or just inflicting harm on me?
You'll have to act under pressure to see if you can spray, because there might be a trade-off involved depending on how good you're at handling
I believe that I can stop suffering more harm by killing it. So the sooner we do it, the sooner it stops.
All right. So firstly, roll me your act under pressure so you're cool.
11.
Nice. You're able to get yourself free enough Tui, you can spray this creature again if you want.
Yes, I want to.
All right, roll to kick some ass.
13.
Now,
Ooh.
you land that spray. Tell me, what bonus or enhanced effect do you want from this?
Um, I think if I double the harm again, I can reach similar effect as in my first round. I hope to reach similar effect. So I'm doubling my harm again.
Okay. Now, as it feels you going for the spray, in its final desperate moment, this one creature of moss in front of you squeezes harder. And while you definitely take it out, you take 2 points of harm as it clings onto you as it goes down.
With armor,
With armor, it's reduced to 1 point of harm.
and now I'm unstable.
So yeah, it's a matter of time, Glenn. You know you've been in combat before. You're going to need to do something to intervene, or it's, yeah. You feel that
First-
clock ticking, if we put it that way.
Yeah, my first thought is 2 kids anyway. It was the entire time.
Winter, what do you do?
Can I do some kind of first aid situation to Glenn?
Well, I would do it myself. I just want to know how did the death of the creature affected the teenagers?
So that's the thing. You've killed off two of the children, so to speak, as the moss kept referring to them to. So the two immediate threats in front of you are gone. The children are, however, very unhappy. Sorry, the teenagers are very unhappy.
They are not free. Okay.
No, you haven't attacked the core. You've attacked two of its spawns, so to speak.
Okay. So I'm saying to Winter, help me with patching myself up. If you could,
I do that.
You would be so kind.
Mechanic. I don't. So yeah, I go over and I try to kind of help Glenn patch himself up.
Okay, so I would like to use my skill, field surgery, with Winter's help, if that's possible.
Yep, so Winter, first I need you to roll to help out. I need you to roll me your plus cool if you want to actively, like mechanically try to help.
Okay, yeah, could you do that?
Absolutely. It's a 9, so you do help. However, those 4 teenagers are moving towards you now. Glenn, roll me your field surgery, please.
With plus how many?
Plus 1.
Plus 1.
Plus 1 from Winter's help.
Yes. Oh. Was that plus 1?
Yeah.
Yes, it was. Wow.
I need to double check what happens with that skill when the roll doesn't quite.
There's nothing written about failure.
What about luck?
Oh, maybe I could use D4.
You might be able to. There should be one more left, I think.
That brings me up to 7.
Okay, so Um, you reckon that you are stable for the moment? It doesn't quite cause you to recover any health, but you reckon that provided you don't, like, if you stay the way you are, you'll be fine, and it's just going to take some time, like, and proper medical treatment to get you truly back up. But you're no longer at risk of expiring, like here and now.
Damn, I hoped it would work on those kids.
Winter.
Well, I'm gonna turn around and try and. I don't know if I want to like try and take a step back from the kids, but I also kind of want to try and talk to the moss again, and kind of ask it what's its deal. Like, where are we at here?
I needed to roll me to act under pressure because those kids are coming for you. So it's a matter of whether you can do this quickly enough. So acting under pressure should be your cool, I'm pretty sure.
I think so.
All right. That's a 9. You reckon you can get the message off to the moss, but there's decidedly a fist coming towards your face. You can choose to either dodge it or talk to the moss.
I dodge it.
All right. You managed to avoid harm. What are the two of you doing? Because these teenagers are actively joining this conflict.
So I kind of want to punch back.
You're punching back?
Like, it would be instantly, if somebody's gonna punch me, I'm instantly gonna punch back.
All right. So roll me. It's a standard kick some ass. Are you using a weapon of some variety or just your fist?
Just my fist.
All right. So that's your tough in this instance. Okay. So there's one of those moments that you see in cartoons where effectively two fists fly past each other and connect at the exact same time. As both you and one of the teenagers takes 1 point of harm each. As your fist lands, you see that there's a puff of spores being ejected. However, your hazmat suit is still intact. So you only take the harm from being punched in the face.
Okay.
I grab Winter hazmat suit and pull them through the area we have already sprayed.
For the moment, that patch is safe. However, you're not sure how long that might last, even with it being enchanted. It could be days, could be hours, but you reckon that you are temporarily safe.
Okay. Can you locate the real center of this thing?
Are you asking me?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, as far as I know, it's a sentient psychic creature that's kind of wearing the moss as a hat, so to speak. A Medusa hat of some sort.
Yeah. Locate its face so I can spray its face again.
I can try and do that.
All right. You have gotten a bit more information from it now that you've been able to talk to it. So I'll let you tune into it now that you know a bit more. So that is your weird that I'll have you roll for it, if that's all right with you.
Yeah.
Okay. And you get a +1 forward for acting on what you learned before.
Okay.
That's a 10. Um,
+1 or not
and
plus
that's
one?
with the +1.
Okay.
So you do get 3 questions you get to ask me from that list.
Well, where is the creature right now? Like, meaning where is its face right now?
Yep. So
Who does it regard as its biggest threat?
mhm.
And I guess maybe how can I draw its attention in that, like, how can I keep it thinking and not acting, if that makes sense, or if I can fudge it that much in that way.
So you reckon that you do have its attention, but it is pretty it's pretty set on taking both of you out at the moment. Like the two of you made it very clear that the time for negotiation is over before murdering 2 of its children. So you get the feeling that it's going to be a hard sell to go, hey, can we have a conversation? In terms of where it is, you reckon that about 20 to 30 meters further into the forest, there's an entryway. What appears to have been a hidden entrance. And if you find that and go down, you'll be in what's effectively become its lair. The biggest threat isn't any of the 4 of you. It is
The Zoning Board of Adjustments.
Capitalism, truly the enemy of us all.
the one.
Sorry, I'm getting silly.
You get
Getting
the
silly. I've
feeling
not been silly this
that-
entire time.
Oh gosh, no. There's someone else in that lair that it hasn't managed to take out.
Huh.
And that, with the 2 groups effectively being there like sitting ducks, safe for the moment, but with the enemy far from defeated, is where we're going to end today's session. Whew.
Yay.
Yeah, that did not go the way I expected. Along any stretch of today's road. So yeah, I think that next time we might reach the conclusion with your greatest enemy so far, the psychic moss. So what I want to hear from all of you today is, firstly, what was everyone's favorite part? Let's start with Ryan and go around counterclockwise.
Oh boy, it's not fair. Favorite part, I think, has to be Winter and the Moss sniping back and forth for like a solid 10 minutes. Pretty great.
Right, Ven, what was your favorite part today? That's Ven with a V, aka Eshi.
Sorry. Hard choices. There was a lot of good stuff today. I've got to say, probably getting unshotgunned was a lead.
Oh,
That went way better than I anticipated.
Awesome. Winter, what has been your favorite part today? Or Cat? I should stop referring to you as characters when we're actually out of the session.
That's fine. I I did like I like the other two, both sniping back and forth with the moss, and I liked the unshotgunned part. Like I like the old lady, and just that whole scene was pretty great. But I also really liked just splashing around in the moss like it was a puddle. That was a pretty fun
Nice.
part too.
All right. Aquino, what was your favorite part today?
I mean, the black magic thing was great because, well, it's black magic. Why would I like only to damage my enemy? I can heal myself and my friend along the way. Let's magic away every problem at once.
Allow me to put it like this. You're not meant to be able to do 5 magical harm, but this time the roles aligned.
But my favorite part was Winter just, yeah, I'm letting Moss carry me. I'm on the kind of weird mix of rock concert and folk concert.
I have to say, like, the whole interaction between Winter and the moss was probably my favorite thing. It's just like it just kept getting better. And I'm excited to see where it goes. Going back the other way around, so turning to Aquino again, where can we find you next? And is there anything else you want to share?
Oh yes, I know how to answer this question this time because I remember the title of the game. So it will be same place, same time tomorrow, and the game is Void Cavalcade.
Excellent. All right, Kat, what about you?
You can find me again here on this channel. Is it Empires and Epitaphs? Is the name? It's Monday nights at 9 my time and I think 7 Mountain time. And I'm playing a mute bard who's a ghost, and it's a goof fest. It's a lot of fun. Come join us there.
Excellent. Eshi, where can we find you next? And is there anything else you want to mention?
You can find me same time, same channel, Monday for Fleshmaker's Folly, playing Otto Silver, the changeling wild mage hazard. Severe party hazard.
Excellent. All right. Pa, where can we find you next?
You could also find me on this channel at 3 Mountain Standard Time on Monday, playing Jin, a really just sort of a brute bodyguard type.
Excellent. Yeah. In terms of where to find me, you can find me here tomorrow, same time, playing in Stars Without Numbers, along with Aquino, and I am playing effectively a sentient birch tree who's trying to learn how to be a mechanic. I'm not even exaggerating, but that's what she's trying to do. So yeah, thank you everyone for tuning in today, and thank you especially to my cast members for putting up with my weird creatures that I keep throwing at you. And yeah, thank you to Raven for handling all of the production. And I believe it's time for you to indeed take over the show.
Hello, everyone. That was delightful. I very much enjoyed the passive aggressive Moss and everything else. It was such a great show. So we're gonna do our raid cry as speaking of Moss, describing Moss texture is surprisingly difficult. And we're gonna go on a raid to Susanna Grace. Susie I think, just got moved in with her new computer. Was finally able to make it over to Canada, and I think this is, if not her first stream, one of the first since being back. So we're gonna go say hi. Definitely give her a follow. Give her a follow if you're not doing so already. Wonderful person and really good tabletop player in DM and everything too. And then yeah, there will not be a community one shot tonight. So the next time that we'll be on is tomorrow at 1 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, 1 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Time zones are hard. For Void Cavalcade. And then after that will be 7 p.m. Mountain Daylight Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time for Animus Absentus. So it's our sci-fi Saturday tomorrow. So we'll see you all there, and enjoy the raid.